So, who do I blame for the coronavirus? Is there any blame to go around? Was it just some accident? Whatever. I'm going to show you a couple of video clips. But I want to tell you who I blame is those three guys right there. Yep, President Donald Trump saying some of the things that he says and shouldn't say, like you don't embarrass world leaders. You just don't do it, whether it's France, Italy, Germany, or in this case, the Chinese president. You just don't do it. But he did it. And he kind of taunted him way back at some of his rallies, saying that the American economy is number one. 401ks are the best. The jobless rates are the best in the history of the world. And you know how he is. So right after that, Adam Schiff on September the 10th, 2019, comes up with this opinion article in the newspapers, big newspapers, followed then and re-reported by his news media cohorts. But he wrote this opinion piece that was saying to Xi Jinping, look, you're going to put up with this stuff from Donald Trump? He's taunting you. You're going to let him get away with that? You know what you could do is stop the flow of drugs, because you people make 70 to 80% of the drugs for the world. You could slow that down. That would mess up our economy, and we could blame Trump. So he was actually taunting Xi Jinping in that article. And then he says, we'll use other pressure points. So Xi Jinping is watching this and reading the newspapers, because he gets this stuff from his guys, saying that Adam Schiff is now taunting him, President Trump is taunting him, and our economy is great. So all of a sudden, out of the only bio warfare laboratory in the world is located in Wuhan, China, in case you didn't know that. A bio warfare lab is anything to do with viruses, for example. And the warfare part is to either kill people or plants or animals. Nonetheless, the only bio warfare lab is in Wuhan, China. So all of a sudden, accidentally, on November the 19th, but unreported to the world, on November the 19th, 2019, 3 months after Schiff's little speech, this coronavirus COVID-19 breaks out of Wuhan, China. People are affected in China. The first reported case from China didn't come out until December the 27th, 2019. 40 days. It's almost biblical, right? 40 days and 40 nights. This plague happened. Well, in 40 days, this plague did happen. Out of Wuhan, China. The people in China were free to move about, go wherever you go, and this virus spread from there. They were free to go travel on airlines to United States, Italy, Europe, wherever. And northern Italy has a very heavy Chinese population. So, you know, everybody's visiting one another. Chinese people, affected Chinese people. And then it starts to just spread, a very fast spreading bio warfare virus. All right, so the first video clip I'm going to show you is of President Donald Trump at one of his rallies. This one happened to be December 10th, 2019, but it's typical of all the ones he has brought forth for months and months before that. And then the last one was just an excerpt of a video that I did on YouTube called The Coronavirus Conspiracy, and then the upside of it. So with that, I'm going to leave you with these two clips coming up, and then the video will fade out. But I just want to inform you that there is a cause and effect of when people say the wrong things. See you next time.
And we haven't closed up all of our industry, and we haven't closed up our businesses and lost all those jobs. And right now, we're by far the largest economy in the world. And if you remember, you could look, if you go back 5, 6, 7 years, in 2019, they say China was going to catch us as the world's largest economy. Guess what? They're way behind. They're way behind. Because over the last 3 years, you see the stock market set 131 records from the day. Think of that. And that means jobs, that means 401ks. I have so many people that come up to me, thank you, sir. My wife is so in love with me because I went up 79% in the 401k. She thinks I'm a genius. She always thought I was a total stiff, a dumb, stupid dope. Now she thinks I'm a financial genius, sir. And all I did was buy some stock. I have stock in a 401k. And you made me into a genius, sir. She loves me so much more than she ever did. Shows you the power of money, right? Isn't that terrible? But I have so many people. 401ks are through the roof. Your jobs are through the roof. We have the lowest unemployment rate. And now, more importantly than anything, wages are up for the first time in many, many years, decades. Decades. You remember 4 years ago, I was here, and I told people, I said, you know, 20 years ago, people made more money than they made 4 years ago. Not now, not anymore, because people now can not only make a lot more money, if they don't like their job, they go out and they get a different job, and they get more money, and ultimately they find one that they love. You have so many opportunities right now. Wages are up, jobs are up, and today we set a new record. Almost 160 million people are working. We've never come close to that number. That's a hell of a number. But just quickly, here are the facts on Shifty Schiff. This honest guy makes up my statements. He said, the president of Ukraine repeatedly declared that there was no pressure, but he didn't want to say that. We said, say it. Say it, you crooked bastard, say it. But he doesn't want to say it. We said, say it. I'd like to force him to say it. He'll walk up to the mic. Ladies and gentlemen. Guy's a total corrupt guy.
Something was said to get under Xi Jinping's skin, though, just 3 short months before the first case of the deadly COVID-19 coronavirus was announced. That was announced, it happened on November 17th, 2019. But on September 10th, 2019, an article written by none other than Democrat from California, Adam Schiff, said in a written opinion or editorial in the Washington Post, he said this: if relations decline further, the Chinese government could look for pressure points where it can wield outsized leverage or force a change of U.S. policy. That's Schiff's idea. Pharmaceutical ingredients could be such a vulnerability, said Schiff. By cutting back their supply or manipulating prices, China could cause pharmaceutical costs to surge, or worse, Schiff said, we could experience shortages. He was hoping. And now, in 3 short months from his piece, China develops a concentrated virus known as COVID-19. 3 months, promulgated by Adam Schiff's opinion, in my opinion. 2 short days later, on September the 12th, 2019, NBC, a cohort of Schiff, plastered this headline in their media outlets. U.S. officials worried about Chinese control of American drug supply. Basically, they say, we've outsourced our entire industry to China. So said retired Brigadier General John Adams. That's what he told NBC News. That is a strategic vulnerability, so said the general. Now, China pays very close attention to the U.S. media headlines concerning China, of course. So in just a 2-day period, Adam Schiff, House Intelligence Committee chair, and his media partners or cohorts at NBC and elsewhere, Democrats, told the Chinese leader, hey, ever thought about getting back at Trump? You could do it in several ways. Shut off the drug supply or look for other pressure points to force a change of U.S. policy concerning the Trump administration's trade deal that you and China will eventually lose at some point. Now, on January 15th, 2020, this year, the infamous New York Times wrote this headline: Washington, President Trump signed an initial trade deal with China on Wednesday, bringing the first chapter of a protracted, and get this, and economically damaging fight with one of the world's largest economies to a close. China, you just got screwed by Trump, is what the New York Times was promoting here.